Hey there, it's Casey Dim at TaxSaleAcademy.com and welcome to our tax sale question segment. This week's question comes through a YouTube comment from Sarah Beth. It says, what happens to the property if no one bids? Sarah Beth, first off, thank you so much for being a subscriber and thank you for submitting your question. It's an excellent question. So let's say that the owner of a piece of real estate fails to pay the taxes on time. Eventually, it lands up at a tax deed sale. It goes to that tax deed sale and nobody bids on the property. What happens to that property? Well, the answer is it depends. It depends on the state's laws and their process. In some areas, the property is simply going to be re-auctioned off at a later date. In other areas, the property will become available for sale through local real estate brokers or perhaps even through the county at full market value or a percentage of full market value. In many areas, the properties are actually analyzed by the county and the city governments to see if they would have an interest in holding onto that property with the county or the city becoming the owner. And this works for things like county parks or Habitat for Humanity homes or home sites or easements, that kind of thing. Now, in some areas, they become available over the counter or OTC. So what this means is that the county basically holds onto the property and they have a list of those properties online. The price that you would pay for that property is the amount of back due taxes, interest, and fees. So you look online, you find that OTC list, you research the property, you walk into the county and you buy it over the counter. So this means that you know your price that you're going to be paying. You know everything about the properties that you'll have time to research it. So it's just up to you to do that research, to line up the buyer, and then walk in and then resell the property. It's a tremendous way to create a near on-demand revenue source when you strategize correctly. In other areas, you can actually buy these properties, these leftover or unsold properties, for negotiated prices that are going to be lower than what the opening bid was. Now, I've purchased many properties simply by making offers on these properties that are very low compared to what the opening bid was. And, sometimes they'll reject them, but a lot of times they will accept them because they want to get those properties back onto the tax roll. That is, in the end, going to be their ultimate goal, is to get that property back into a tax revenue producing status. And whatever they sell it for doesn't make a whole lot of difference as long as that property goes back onto the tax rolls, which is why some areas will do a negotiated process. Now, in short, in many states, the properties that went unsold at a tax sale can be tremendous opportunities. But the issue is that many people who attempt to buy these properties, they do so without really knowing what they're doing. The majority of these properties went unsold for a reason. Think about it here. The owner, they didn't pay the taxes on the property. Then it went to a room full of investors. Nobody bid on the property. And then it went on to the OTC list. Now, oftentimes that indicates something might just be wrong with that property, such as a tiny strip of land, environmental issues, or similar problems. But obviously, there are properties that do slip through the cracks, and we teach how to find these properties, how to profit from these properties inside the Tax Sale Academy. But I would truly consider this a more advanced strategy than most beginners without any sort of tax sale experience or training should probably skip. If you are looking to learn about investing in OTC properties, make sure you know what you are doing. Don't just go and start buying properties off an OTC list without any experience or any training, because you will find yourself in all sorts of trouble if you buy a property that everybody else skipped over for a very specific reason, which might not be apparent to the very green or beginner tax sale investor. So, Sarah Beth, hopefully this answered your question. For more information on tax sale investing, make sure you check out all the links in today's show notes, including the one to our primary site at TaxSaleAcademy.com. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.